O'Bryan Jimmie Ford from Ford and O'Brien, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, ESPN Evansville 105.3. Taking a look at the Week 1, some of the key matchups in Week 1 of the pro football season, because it's finally here, Jimmy. Football, real deal, wins, losses count. Football is upon us.
I'm just going to wait for the NBA.
We won't look at all the games, but some of the bigger matchups. Again, you can go online, ESPNEvansville.com, make your picks for all this week's games and every week's games in our Pigskin Pick'em Challenge, a chance to win $10,000 at the end of this season. You can get all the details online at ESPNEvansville.com. We'll go through some of the key matchups and some of the teams of interest here in the Evansville area. And let's start with that Indianapolis-Buffalo matchup. First game of the season. Obviously, there's a lot of change up in Buffalo with Rex Ryan taking over as the coach. They've got Tyrod Taylor's going to be your starting quarterback up there. They got LaShawn McCoy, and Rex Ryan is a defensive-minded coach. They expect that defense to rank as maybe one of the better ones in the league this year. On the flip side of that, you've got Indianapolis, Andrew Luck coming into his fourth season, all kinds of weapons at his disposal there. This may be a little biased. If you listen to the show, you know I'm a huge Indianapolis Colts fan. I think this is a tough game for the Colts. It will put that run defense to the test, which has always been iffy for Indianapolis. The offensive line is going to get a strong test here, but at the end of the day, I think the weapons that Andrew Luck has at his disposal will outweigh what Buffalo has defensively. I'll give the Colts the win there.
You know, LaShawn McCoy may not be 100% coming into this opening game, and the Buffalo defense, that's what they're going to live on all season long. As long as they've got quarterback issues, their offense is not going to be outstanding. Indianapolis, I think they've got too many weapons, even with a good Buffalo defense. I agree. I got to go Indianapolis. I don't even think it's close, to be honest.
I think it's a little close. Okay. I think I'll give it a 24-17. I'll maybe even give the Colts a 31-17 kind of win. But I think Buffalo will score some points with that running game. Let's go to your boys up there in Green Bay, the Packers. Will take on the Bears, so right out of the gate, a divisional rivalry matchup to start the season this year. Chicago, to me, is, I don't know what to expect. John Fox is there. Adam Gase takes over as the offensive coordinator, who was with John Fox over in Denver. Chicago's just got a lot of question marks out there with Jay Cutler. What are you going to get out of him defensively? They haven't been that shutdown defense that you expect out of a Chicago team for a long time. Green Bay's got Aaron Rodgers, arguably the best quarterback playing the game right now, or at least one of them. They've got their fair share of injuries without Jordy Nelson. Will Devontae Adams step up? There's some questions on that Green Bay Packers defense, though, too. But I think at the end of the day, you got Aaron Rodgers under center. I like Green Bay in that one.
I do, too. And simply because the Bears, like you say, with John Fox, they're going to be a better team. But I don't think in Week 1. It's going to depend with Jay Cutler, what goes on there. They got to feed Matt Forte the ball. He's got to touch the ball 30 times in that game for them to have any chance at all, either running out of the backfield. However they're going to use Forte, you got to use the guy. He's one of the best in the game. There's no doubt about it. Without Jordy Nelson, you do lose a step or two. That's you don't hide that. That's no secret.
Right.
But Green Bay is still offensively, I think, there's too much for Chicago to handle. So I'll take the Packers. That's a big surprise.
What a shock! What a shock! The
Packers him a shock
guy,
face.
The Colts guy takes the Colts, and the Packers guy takes the Packers. Let's head south. Tennessee, Tampa Bay, not necessarily a marquee matchup, but obviously there's Titans fans in our area, and it's an intriguing matchup because you've got the top 2 picks in this year's draft. I hate when they say going head-to-head because they're not. They're not on the field at the same time.
Right.
But both teams that are in rebuilding modes, this may not be the prettiest game in the world, to be honest with you. There's a lot of questions on both sides of the ball for both of these teams. But at the end of the day, sorry Tennessee fans, I like Jameis Winston, and I like Tampa Bay's chances of pulling out the win here and starting the season 1-0.
Well, I'm going to go, I'll make the Tennessee fans happy then, since you won't.
Go.
I'm going to go with Tennessee, and you know what, to be honest, I don't really know why. It's a feel, I guess, more than anything, because either team is going to be a playoff team this year. They're both going to be better than last year, but just because you bring Winston in, you're not going to the Super Bowl. Just because you bring Mariota in, you're not going to the Super Bowl. But I think Tennessee has a little better game out of the gate in Week 1. Overall, season-wise, I think Tampa Bay may end up a little better than Tennessee, but this week I'm taking the Titans.
Let's head east over to the Cincinnati side of things. The Bengals will be out in Oakland taking on the Raiders. And the Raiders, I think, are going to be an improved team this year. Not so improved that they get a win in Week 1. Spoiler alert, that's I'm not picking the Raiders. But Cincinnati, defensively, they were a strong defense last year. It looks like, at least on paper, that's going to be the case again this year. Derek Carr with another year under his belt. He's got Amari Cooper there. But again, Cooper is a rookie. I still think there's some question marks and some holes there on the Oakland side of things. And offensively for Cincinnati, there may be some question marks there too. What kind of Andy Dalton's going to show up? Can A.J. Green stay healthy? For this particular game, though, I do like the Bengals to win.
I do too. And I can't really add any more than what you just said, but I like Cincinnati week 1.
All right, well, let's head west over to St. Louis then. They've got a tough one as the Seattle Seahawks will come to town, the Edward Jones Dome, to take on the Rams. The Rams, again, a lot of offensive questions over there. Will Nick Foles live up to the potential that he showed a couple of seasons ago with Philadelphia? But with that being said, much like the Buffalo Bills, the Rams have arguably, they may have one of the best front sevens defensively in the league this year. There's a distinct possibility of that. I don't think, though, they're going to be good enough to really put a stop on Seattle with everybody that Seattle's got coming back. We know what Seattle brings defensively. Russell Wilson's got his extension on his contract. He's a happy camper. Marshawn Lynch goes beast mode. You've got Jimmy Graham out there now at the tight end position, so a big, reliable target for Russell Wilson. I like Seattle probably to walk away with that one in St. Louis.
I do too. With or without Cam Chancellor, that's still a very good defense on the Seahawks. The Legion of Boom is getting older, but they still bring the hat when they need to. And St. Louis does have a good defense, but you're right. There's a lot of offensive weapons on Seattle. And, yeah, Seahawks should walk away with that one easily.
A couple other games to look at here. We'll look at Denver and Baltimore. I like that matchup. Two good teams. Obviously, the Peyton Manning aspect of Denver. A lot of fans here in the area for the Broncos when Peyton moved out to Denver there. This one intrigues me. I don't know what we're going to get offensively from Denver. You suspect that because it's Peyton Manning, it will continue to be what it has been through his entire career. But you got Gary Kubiak now, who runs more of a run-first kind of mentality offense. Will that help Peyton down the road when you get into December and January, that you're not relying on him so heavily? As far as Baltimore goes, Joe Flacco's there. They don't have their deep threat in Torrey Smith anymore. They're hoping the rookie Brashad Perriman becomes that guy for them. Steve Smith Sr. still there, but another year older. He's in his mid-30s now.
Right, and final year, he's announced that.
That's right.
This is his farewell tour. Yep.
You know, that Baltimore defense has always had what it's been the last couple of years, maybe not as stingy as it has been in the past. Denver's got some new guys, some new faces there defensively as well. I think it's going to be a really good game. I will give Baltimore the slight edge, though. I think they pull this one out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my upset of the week. I don't know.
Is that what it is?
I guess, maybe.
Well, all right. I can't go that way. I got to go with Denver. I got to go with the Broncos. It's Kubiak's offense, but no, it's not. We're gonna notice right out of the chute that there's some stuff that Kubiak puts in there, but it's still Peyton at the line screaming Omaha 15 times. I guess he gets paid every time I don't know. Maybe Omaha Steaks pays him or something. I don't
maybe.
know.
That's an endorsement waiting to happen.
Yeah, is it though? But yeah, it's. I got to go with the Broncos. I can't go against Peyton. I don't think Baltimore's solid enough to shut them down. I don't.
One more to look at, and that is the game that kicks it all off Thursday night in New England. The banner will get dropped. The teams get their ring. The Pittsburgh Steelers come to town to face the New England Patriots. And with everything that has gone on surrounding the Patriots throughout this entire offseason and since that AFC Championship game, Tom Brady is now exonerated or whatever you want to call it. I think they play with a massive chip on their shoulder. I think they're going to be mad. The Pittsburgh defense, probably not as strong as it has been in the past, but they've got some offensive weapons though too. But I'd like New England, not necessarily to run away with this game, but I think they'll probably win it by at least 2 scores.
Well, I think New England wins it as well. I'm not going to guarantee a New England win, but I will guarantee 100% there ain't a football on that field that's not inflated properly.
I promise you that.
They're weighing them now. They're weighing them right now. They're already on the scales, and they'll weigh them every half hour until game time.
That's right.
But no, I go with New England as well. You talk about a chip.
Oh yeah,
Brady
it's the size of a brick.
Yeah. They've got a lot to prove. They're in front of their hometown fans, who all of them have chips too. There's little chips given to everybody. They give them in like bobbleheads when they come in that night.
First 20,000 fans gets a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, the Deflategate chip, free of charge. But I can't go against New England. You're dropping the banner. You're at home. I mean, that's just too much. Anybody playing under that, I'm going to go with on that night at least.
All right, there's some of our picks for some of the bigger games coming up here in Week 1. Don't forget to visit our website, ESPNEvansville.com. Get yourself logged in. Make your picks for this week's Pigskin Pick'em Challenge. You play throughout the season every week during the pro football regular season, and then you can get the details on how to score that $10 grand at the end of the year when it comes down to the big game, as they like to say, on February 2nd. He's Jimmy Ford. I'm Ryan O'Brien. Check us out every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6, the Ford and O'Brien Show here on ESPN Evansville 105.3 and online, streaming live at ESPNEvansville.com.
Bye-bye.